And so this dude had to get back on his bicycle, bike the fuck back home, get his dick, bike back to the hospital.
Show up to the hospital like, fuck, I forgot my dick.
Trying to bring the comedy back in, kicking stupid shit to get the audience laughing. Man, this shit is stupid as hell, but maybe this'll get us both up on double XL.
Test.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 6, motherfucker. Merry Christmas.
This is episode 6. Why can't I hear myself?
You got a beer to cheers? No?
Hold on,
solid.
motherfucker. Trying to set this shit up. There we go. We good.
Hell yeah. Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Episode 6. It's that Christmas shit.
We're looking festive as fuck.
I feel festive as fuck.
Today is, of course, another video episode, finally. And we got our first fucking guest, so we're gonna announce that later. We're gonna do a couple of segments first, and just get it rocking.
Let's fucking go.
So, first off, I feel like we should talk about Eminem. Just randomly dropped the fucking album, dropped the B-side to Music to Be Murdered By.
He did, yeah.
I've only heard a couple of tracks. I haven't actually sat down and appreciated the whole thing yet. So far, it's been pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I actually fucking... Hold on, I'm trying to get my shit all fixed here. I don't actually mind it.
Yeah, it's really dope. I liked the original Music to Be Murdered By, and I fucked with Kamikaze. I also wasn't one of the people who like completely shit on Revival. There was obviously some songs that were not my thing on that project, but there was a bunch of songs I still listen to from Revival.
I'm more like Eminem show.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's my era.
I just kind of listen to it all. I'm like, I think one of those kids weirdly in the middle generation who had all the old shit and loves it, but I actually don't mind any of the, like, you know, recovery, revival, and, you know, that kind of, I don't want to say poppy shit, but, I don't know, I think just because I grew up on all of it.
It was more mainstream shit.
For sure.
Yeah, I grew up, like, Eminem show was my fucking era. The shit came out in 2002. I was born in 97, so I would have been 5.
True. Yeah, I was born in 2000, so I, like, probably didn't even really understand, like, rap music till at least, like, 2005, 2006. And even then, I was 6, so...
Yeah,
but
I remember bumping around to that.
I remember, like, being taken out of the living room when, fuck, for the life of me, I can't think of which music video it was, but where he's dressed up as Superman.
Business.
Yeah, and he's, like, fucking mooning people, and he's sticking his ass cheeks in people's face. And I remember just being like, what the fuck am I watching? It was just, like, completely captivated. And my mom was like, oh, shit, somebody left the TV on.
Yeah, there's him again.
Yeah, a little 6-year-old man.
It explains everything.
I really, I'm gonna have to keep my head, like, extra still for this episode, or we're just gonna hear fucking jingling the entire fucking podcast.
We're festive. It's fucking Christmas.
I don't know, maybe we'll have to take it off for the poor audio-only listeners. We'll see.
For the poor audio-only listeners, what are you saying? They poor? They got Spotify. They poor.
I mean, their poor situation. They're stuck at work, just listening to.
Spotify ain't cheap.
What else? We got UFC going on tonight. Unfortunately.
It seems to be a regular thing that we do. Saturdays night.
After podcast. I wish we could talk about UFC a little bit more, but I also don't want to bore half of our listener base who isn't into MMA. But we got some money on the fights tonight, so I'm definitely gonna be catching all the openers. Some dope fights. I'm really excited for the Chaos Williams and the Michelle fight. I don't really know how to pronounce his last name because.
Could you imagine? You said Chaos Williams. My mind instantly went to Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
Could you imagine that dude in the ring?
How dope is that if you're a professional fighter and your name's fucking Chaos? You know, it's not Carl. It's not.
And that's his actual name.
Yeah, it's like KH, like AOS. Yeah.
That's pretty fire. Shout out to that dude.
Yeah. Hopefully he wins me some.
If I don't
bread.
shout that dude out, he'd probably come through the TV screen and punch me in the lips.
So yeah, I guess we'll wait a couple of minutes to announce and talk about our first guest that we got coming in. But I don't know if you want to tell some stories, Dizzy. We'll do a little story time segment. If you guys want to send us in crazy stories about hip-hop shows, tour, literally fucking anything, go to the description, check out the Thick and Dizzy podcast email, or we have a link to anchor.com. You can send us little voice memos. But
do that shit.
I think you got to kick it off, Dizzy, and tell the story about when you almost got punched in the face by Dizzy, right?
I did. Yeah. We did a show with, you were on tour.
Yeah, I was on tour out west. I wasn't at that shit.
And yeah, it was in Guelph. And I wasn't meaning no disrespect. I was just like, yo, Dizzy, I seen you, and I was like, is that Wiz Khalifa? I was drunk as shit. So I was like, yo, that's Wiz Khalifa. It wasn't. It was Dizzy
It was
Wright.
not Wiz Khalifa.
It was Dizzy Wright, and he got really mad when he heard that. He was like, yeah, I should punch you out right now. I was like, what?
Okay, and like to be fair, like I get the whole like, you know, you don't
I
want to
wasn't
call
stereotyping, but like I was
you know,
drunk as
call
shit.
like a black man another black man. But at the end of the day, he looks like Wiz Khalifa, like a scary amount.
And I was like, shit.
You know, it'd be like if fucking when I was calling you Slim Dizzy when you had your blonde hair, you know, it wasn't like a race thing. So
People tell me I look
Eminem.
like people all the time. I don't get mad.
Yeah.
Although someone told me I look like Shane Dawson, and that pissed me off. I'm like, fuck that dude. I'm
Dizzy
pretty sure he
Dawson.
fucked his cat.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah. I think Shane, I don't know. That's a
You
whole
don't
different
know.
segment. But I don't look like no cat fucker.
We need a podcast moderator. Pull that up quick.
Like, pull up him fucking his cat.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, I almost got punched out by Dizzy Wright.
I googled it.
Is it true?
He said that he did it and then denied it a couple years later.
It's pretty
It
sus.
says.
Yeah,
I think
it
he
is
did
sus.
it to be funny.
I ain't bringing my cat around that motherfucker.
No, not Bert. Bert is too elegant.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
What a
I'm
specimen.
really upset that I missed that show. 'Cause, yeah, it was like Mad Child and Dizzy Wright and
Pimpton was there. Pimpton.
yeah, and Pimpton. We linked up for that tour and did an after party for that show in Sault Ste. Marie when I was on tour with Oliver Spitz and Doski. Shout out Ollie and Doski. Good ass motherfuckers, the Doug and
Yeah.
Seth tour. But yeah, we I was just like disappointed I didn't get to rock the stage with you and Careless and like get that Guelph like kind of hometown experience. But and see you almost get punched in the face by Dizzy, right?
I still can't believe that. I was really upset.
Yeah, no, that
I was like, shit.
fucking sorry, I'm just getting a phone call 1 sec. So my shit on the
We need to do a segment where I go through Twitter news. Because half the time I look through Twitter and it's nothing but titties.
It wouldn't be Twitter news, it'd just be Twitter nudes.
Titter news.
Alright, that's the next segment. We'll start that next episode.
No, I'm like genuinely trying to find stuff trending and everything that comes up is just like, I gotta stop following all my fans, bro.
Are people coming in?
I got a story time segment here. It's not a personal experience, thank God. But you ever heard the story about that dude? He was living in China, and he was like super depressed because he couldn't get a girlfriend, he couldn't get laid. So
Same.
he decided to. So he decided to chop off his dick. Real like true story. You Google this shit. Chopped off his dick. Of course, instantly regretted it. So he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go to the hospital." Doesn't have a car. Just hops on his bike, pedals down. It was something like 10 kilometers to the
Holy
fucking
fuck.
hospital. Gets to the hospital and they're like, "Yeah, like you know, we could stop the bleeding, but you forgot your dick. If you want to reattach, you kind of need to bring it with you. You know, just keep a couple extra glizzies in the fucking freezer here
Could you
when this
imagine?
happens." And so this dude had to get back on his bicycle, bike the fuck back home, get his dick, bike back to the hospital.
Show up to the hospital like, fuck, I forgot my dick.
And by the time he brought it there, they're like, yeah, this shit's too old, you know? It was probably had ants on it and shit on the floor. It was
Oh my
probably,
God.
fucking,
Things infested. It's like that movie. What's that movie called? Where Buddy gets his dick chopped off?
oh, I don't remember what
And they
that
spend
shit was
like the
called, but
entire movie trying
that
to
was
get
hilarious. Yeah, they accidentally sent
package,
a
that's what it
cooler.
was.
They
It
put
was a
his dick in like a cooler of ice, an
it.
empty
Yeah,
cooler.
it gets
And
bit
they-
by a snake.
And they accidentally fucking give the cooler full of beer to the helicopter that
Yeah.
airlifts him. And I don't think he got bit by a snake. I think he was playing with a butterfly knife while he was taking a piss.
He was. But halfway through the movie, they drop it. It gets bit by a snake.
Right, yeah.
And then they're like, yo, we can't put it back on because it's got venom in it. So they have to, like, Buddy sucks the venom out of the dick, and then they find out it's not poisonous. And
Oh, yeah.
that movie's ridiculous.
Yeah, that movie is ridiculous. I can't think of what that's called for the life of me.
It's the package.
The package. Yeah, that's what it is.
They thinking I'm new to this. I got dues that I paid though. Matter of fact, bitch, I'm doing it. But
y'all already know where my lane is. Out of district with Apollo on a spaceship. Fitching proper to it, drop it to the Matrix. Give it a couple years and they gon' probably say we staged it. Amazing how you motherfuckers always hating. I blaze him and lace him and give him the boot. I don't fear no man when I step in the booth. You got a fucking product boy to get your weapon to shoot. Like pop pop and I throw go up the shot block. You motherfuckers gonna learn to manage it now.
I think it's only right we start to introduce our guest. I think we got to give a fucking huge shout out to the first official guest on the Thick and Dizzy podcast on the official Christmas episode, Bud Walker. Shout out to Bud fucking Walker.
Bud motherfucking Walker.
When did we meet Bud? That was about 2-3 years ago now?
Meeting Bud, yeah, that was the In Backwards We Trust tour. That was when, I think actually the first time we met him was the Oneida show.
Yeah, at the Reserve in Oneida, we kicked like a really dope show for it was like a native youth program. So
Yeah. Shout out to Sunshine.
Yeah, shout out to Sunshine. We like did a little like hip-hop writing course where we taught kids how to like write bars, and they did this thing out back where they taught them how to spray graffiti on canvas, like not wall, like legal graffiti. And we rocked the show. There was like some games and shit, and we had a huge portion of the F.I.T.C.H Team come through, which was cool. There was Doski, there was Gibbs, there was Bud Walker, and of course Oliver Spitz.
Roadies and
I think even Tibbs was out driving. Like the art dude. It was cool, man. That was like the first.
And that was the first introduction.
Yeah, and it was just like family instantly. We were smoking blunts out front, and then we linked up for a show in Toronto. That was like your headlining show.
Yeah, I think that was one of them. Couple nights after that show.
And then we like stayed in touch like online for like about a year, and then after that tour we were just talking about when I was out west with Doug and Seth. Excuse me. Bud Walker and Oliver invited us to his album release party.
In Lockhaven.
Yeah, in Lockhaven, which was fucking awesome. Our first international show.
If you have not heard that tape, Ghost by Bud Walker, I am featured on that actually. Stay in Your Lane. I produced that beat.
Fire.
Threw a fucking verse on there, and we killed that shit.
It was really cool hearing him perform pretty much the entirety of the album live too.
Yeah.
Super
it was
powerful.
fire.
And we met Wasi and Keynote.
Yeah.
Like that show, which was awesome.
Shout out to all the American homies.
Got in touch with DJ 900. It was a really cool trip. So it feels super fitting that we have Bud Walker for the first official guest on the Thick and Dizzy podcast. So with further ado, we're gonna switch over to Zoom and get chatting. Cheers.
Let's go, motherfuckers.
Well, cheers. Episode 6 of the Thick and Dizzy podcast with our first official guest, Bud Walker. Some call him the John Lennon of the F.I.T.C.H Team. The homie from down south. What's going on, Bud? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas?
We're just out here.
Yo, it's so funny. I was just recording a podcast and we were just talking about how I walk into some place and someone either says, yo, you look like John Lennon, or if I have my glasses on, it's John Lennon, but if I don't, it's like, yo, what's up, Jesus?
What's up, Jesus? There's a lot worse things to be called than John Lennon and Jesus. So,
Yeah, I guess walking in some place getting called Jesus ain't the worst thing, but it's still just like, damn, yo.
That's the best way to plug your mixtape, though. Someone calls you John Lennon, you're like, nah, but I got some fire raps if you're trying to peep this this track real.
Dude, I'm no joke. I've walked into bars and people have taken pictures with me because because they say I look like John Lennon.
That's awesome. That's actually hilarious. White Jesus, though. You ever hear that Ritz album?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. That's my main thing when I try to tell people. I try to if they say that they call me Jesus, I was like, Jesus was black.
Yeah, literally. All right, well, shit. I think we want to kick it off by just asking you what the hell you got going on with music right now. I know, obviously, you got Ghost was your most recent body of work. Sorry, but I know you're probably cooking up something with all this extra time on your hands.
It's actually crazy. This pandemic didn't affect me one fucking bit. I've been working 2 jobs like this entire fucking year.
Fucking
didn't
nice.
affect me like I worked at a beer store before this, and now I'm working at
That's super essential. You gotta.
Yeah, bro. It was crazy. Like right off the bat when they were saying like, "Yo, beer store," like we didn't have to shut down at all. Like obviously, like fucking.
A little hectic with the precautions.
Oh, dude, it was
they put in
nuts.
place and.
Dude, it was ridiculous. Dude, the first day when everyone thought that like the shit was like closing down for good, dude, I had so many alcoholics in my fucking
That'd be ridiculous.
in my fucking place, dude. It was crazy.
I don't know if you've ever seen. You probably not actually, just because nobody really has TikTok. I just put it on there for shits because I was like, I don't know what to do with this video. But last winter I was working a job doing snow removal. It's going around in like plow trucks and all that. and our town completely flooded out. So like the streets were fully filled with water, like dozens of homes completely wrecked. But as I'm sitting there in the truck, I get a Snapchat of these fucking people canoeing to the beer store. It was like the most Canadian shit I've ever seen. Yeah, they got in their canoe and they sent it all because the beer store was like on a little island. You know, it was saved. It was fucking perfect.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, that was good.
That's awesome. That is the most well, actually, I think it's the second most Canadian thing. The most Canadian thing is if you would be if you'd be riding the moose while it was swimming.
Yeah, that is the most Canadian thing. There is people who have done that shit like on YouTube. I wish we had a moderator that we could pull that up. Yeah. Dudes going on little moose treks. You catch them while they're in the water. They don't have good mobility. You just hold on to the antlers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
just truck across. Yeah.
That's the only way you can. You got some cojones.
We definitely do not ride polar bears, but yeah, the moose is semi possible.
You catch me on a good Saturday and I'm all drunk, I'll re-ride the moose.
That's awesome. Also, got to say congrats on starting the new podcast. So is Bud Talks the official name? I know in episode 1, you guys didn't know for sure if that was what you're going to call it, but that was what it was titled. Is that what you're sticking with then?
Yeah. It was funny because I was recorded it was actually recorded. Well, did you listen to the whole thing?
I got 40 minutes through, and then Dizzy came, and we started recording our own stuff. But yeah.
Okay, so you didn't even hear. Worst Case Ontario is like his promotion song he plays in the middle.
Oh, fucking yeah.
So the format I did was like I did the little intro of his song for like a couple of seconds, and then in the middle, a little bit further than where you stopped, I'll be like, all right, well, let's play a track. And it was right when you guys dropped Worst Case Ontario. So the song will actually play the whole way through there. And then we come back and talk a little bit.
Okay,
so, so that was recorded way back then. And that was, honestly, he just swang through from coming out in Washington.
Right.
He was just coming visiting home and shit.
Yeah, right. Out in Spokane. Spokane. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I was fucking it up. I always call it Spokane because of how it's spelled. But yeah, he swang through home. We did the episode real quick, and that was real quick when I was just trying to I wanted to do one solo. Bud Talks is what I went with. I was having a fucking rough ass time, trying to think of a name.
Mm.
And then honestly, he just kind of he's like, yo, you should just, you know what I mean? You already go by Bud Walker, just hit Bud Talks. And I was just like, yeah, it does make sense. I thought I could come up with something a little bit more creative, but sometimes it's just as simple as that.
No, absolutely. It's definitely a lot more professional than the Thick and Dizzy podcast. I don't know how Dizzy came up with that. He was just like, I've always been thick since he's known me. He never calls me.
Dude, your guys' shit. I listened to your podcast at work the other day, and dude, I was dying. But the intro and even just the way it rolls off the tongue, the Thick and Dizzy dude, I love it.
Hell yeah, man! I really appreciate that.
I fucking love it.
One thing I definitely wanted to ask you after listening to the episode with Oliver was just I don't know, you don't have to totally dive into it, but really curious just what the situation with COVID is like in comparison to Canada down in the States.
Well, first off, it's I like to use this phrase a lot, but it's literally, I think it's the personification of the phrase on the fence.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, there are you walk into Walmart and it's 100, it's divided 100%. There's people who understand that it's part of society and yo, you got to just kind of put your mask on and suck it up.
Just roll with the times.
Yeah. And then there's other motherfuckers who legit think the Illuminati's in their fucking iPhone.
Yeah.
Making sure that they're wearing a mask in their fucking car or some shit. And they're just not going to have their fucking American rights taken away and stuff.
Right.
So
that they're going to get forcefully injected with the vaccine in the middle of the night. Some guy's going to pull up in a white van, open the door and just put the needle in his neck. God.
Yeah. So it's just real crazy because it's just I don't know, I know when we came up there, I remember you guys were some of the first ones, yo, how's that Trump shit?
Yeah.
And it's just yo, it was yeah, it was so fun. It was so crazy being outside of a country to think of oh shit, damn, They answered a whole nother motherfucker.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting too, because what was that, like 2017, or because he was like already in office then. Like, I don't think it was for that long,
Yeah.
but like that was when we were pretty happy and relaxed politically in Canada. Now I don't think it's a total opposite. People are just super angry with Trudeau for kind of polar opposite reasons, where maybe he's too friendly and does or whatever the hell. But it's definitely interesting that nobody, if you leave Canada, is going to be asking you. You're like, oh, Justin Trudeau, yada yada. They just sort of know him as the guy who made pot legal. But
Yeah, pretty much.
you guys sort of have to carry that on your back wherever you go with like American politics. It's like definitely a chip on the shoulder, almost being an American artist and having to avoid addressing all that sometimes, I'm sure.
Coming up north to you guys, definitely. It was definitely weird. Like, it was just different because you're not when you go to a different, like, it's not like your accents are terribly different. It's not like we went to like fucking Europe and I'm in Germany or something, or
especially
I went
Ontario to PA.
It's like people look different from you.
Yeah.
Like when we came up to here, it's like, yo, it just feels like, plus you're really not that far away from us, to be honest.
No, not at all.
It's just weird, like hitting that. It's like, damn, we're in a different country. Like y'all, I got a whole different set of rules and stuff. What really hit me was guns.
When
people started talking about, like, there's people that legit was like, yo, you have guns? I was just like, yeah, like a closet full. Like my dad just grew up hunting in the woods.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like a fucking.
No, that's both of us too, though. Like I got a deer hanging up just fucking over there. Like I think it's just like, at least in our area, sort of from the woods, it's common for you or your grandpa to have a 12 gauge or something in a safe, in the house. But it definitely,
at the minimum here, dude, there are people I know that, and probably same with you, that stockpiled.
No,
especially here, because you can just grab whatever here.
No, for sure.
And like you can
I wonder, this is maybe a silly question, just because I went out and bought an airsoft gun recently. I almost wonder, like, do you guys not really have a market for that? I know people will spend thousands of dollars just to get like exact replicas of the most powerful like stainless steel airsoft guns. I feel like in the States you just go out and buy the real shit,
Yeah, but no, like, I mean, I'm not saying from experience, but I know for a fact, like, motherfuckers go out and they do like paintball and like airsoft and shit. When we were kids, we used to do that. I worked at a bowling alley, and right behind it was like this little patch of woods. And ever since I can remember, like when we were kids, we used to go out there with airsoft guns and just like make like little forts and shit like that, and just start popping each other behind like where I used to work.
Hell yeah.
We used to be like running in the parking lot with like pistols and stuff like that. I never really thought about
those little clear ones that break after 2 weeks of fucking sliding them back all the time,
Yeah, dude. Like,
I think if we had more access to gun ranges, I'd just be like, fuck paintball, we going to the range,
Yeah, if you could, But I don't know. It's still kind of. I think people still like the kind of Call of Duty aspect, just real life.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's weird to say. Like, I don't mean to say it, but it's just like you do get to like shoot someone without them being fucking hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's not illegal, and you're not actually trying to hurt someone, but it actually does bring like a sport to it.
Like our buddy Jib, hey Dizzy, he's fucking got a crazy collection. He does like ink for both me and Dizzy. I know he goes all out with that. He buys like uniforms and like replica, like full like standard military gear just to go out and like, shoot the shit with the boys. It's pretty.
That's awesome though. That's cool, because if you like love something, you might as well fucking go all out with it, right?
No, for real. And I guess while we're on the topic too, I feel like we should bring up being with DJ 900 in Philly, because that was an interesting experience. Hey, Dizzy, you obviously are good buddies to DJ 900. Shout out to him. But that was very interesting. I never felt so safe and yet so unsafe at the same time, being in like.
No, seriously, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I got so scared being in Philly for the first time. I was like sweating and shit. I was like, fuck.
Like, DJ 900 is the most like law-abiding citizen there is. In any bad situation, he'd handle it perfectly. But we're just sitting there, we're like, oh my god, like stay as close to 90 as possible. Everyone was it was just a different time, just because like he was sort of on the fence, because everywhere we were going, just bumper stickers about carrying and all that, just so different. Nowhere in Canada
bro.
you really
Yeah.
experience that, so just shell shock a little bit.
Oh
Not even that
yeah,
it's
bro.
really
There's
a
definitely
threat,
parts
but
of Philly, like there's just parts of Philly where cops just don't go.
yeah,
Like they literally won't patrol it. They won't show up there. They get a call there. They probably won't even show up.
yeah, they won't bother. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely been some sketchy parts and we've done some shows and some pretty and some pretty fucked up where the same thing where it's just like,
And
damn, I'm from here and I'm fucking sketched out, bro.
Yeah,
like,
but I was actually like fairly comforted knowing there was someone who was like a registered like carrier and that knew how to be responsible in any situation, So that's weird.
That's the main thing. That was what I was getting to earlier. What blew my mind being in Canada when people are like, "Yo, you got guns," and to me, it was just like, "Yo, you don't."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, holy fuck, bro! Like, if someone broke into my fucking house, Jesus.
Especially around here too. Like we're like an hour outside of Toronto, and out there, it's like the murder rate's gone up like 200%. So it's like people act like Canada doesn't have guns, but there's areas where there's a shit ton of guns. So it's like,
and that's the thing. Like when you don't have guns, it doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah,
people still get them.
Yeah,
just they don't get them legally.
Like the local scene, as far as Toronto hip hop, they lose damn near dozens of people every year just to that shit. Like
that's a fucking shame.
Yeah, it is, and it's like it's strange that most Canadians, like you said, don't even address it as if it's an issue here.
I've always like every couple of shows, I know someone at least says it when we do something is like someone is like, "Yo, like thanks for being cool, everyone. Like we don't have no stabbings, no shootings. People don't get into fights at our shows and shit like that." And that's
exactly. Everyone's too fitched out.
Yeah, I think people take it for granted sometimes, but then when we say it on the mic, I think they realize like, well, yeah, like like you know what I mean. There's a perception behind rappers, no doubt. Like you know what I mean. But it's cool. Like you're sitting in here listening to all this fucking hip hop shit, which you think is supposed to be. But then when you actually see us at the bar and shit like that, like we're not. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Kids, like trying to do hip hop, we're not.
It's basically like going to work for us. It's like clocking in.
Yeah, it's like it's so much. I don't know. I take a lot of pride in it, honestly. Like especially bringing people like you coming from out of town. Like the last thing I want y'all to do is come fucking do a show and feel unsafe.
We actually that was such an awesome experience. We felt super welcome for that. Like we woke up and you had Backwoods for the whole Backwoods crew. It was like awesome.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
awesome.
I'm always up mad fucking early.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sleep the fuck in. I'm bad for that. I'll admit it. I'm one of those dudes. Like I'm up till like 5 a.m., but I'll sleep till like 1 o'clock. Like
the best thing ever though is the story. You got to tell the story about when you came into our town.
Yeah, when we got pulled over.
Yeah, Dizzy, you should tell the book
that dude. Legit, like when you guys came through town. I like look at Smith's ones. I was just like, bro, ain't that some like fucking like, isn't that some shit that you want to fucking happen? Like,
no,
not
for real.
Not some fucked up shit, but it was just like, yo, it's just like even the cops knew.
Yeah, honestly, I was at first like, fuck, here we go again. Like, just cross the border. We were there for how many hours? Like,
fuck, we were stuck at customs for like at least 2 hours.
Yeah, and also just before we really get into it, I remember them being really aggressive about me wearing shorts. They thought that I had changed my clothes at the border to hide whatever was in my pants. And they're like, why are you wearing shorts? It's freezing. And I was like, I'm Canadian. Like, it's not that cold.
I'm literally thinking, like, what? Why would you? You pulled me over because I have a Canadian fucking license plate. What?
Yeah, literally.
What's not registering here, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
But yeah, what the fuck? Like, we were like barely 500 meters from Oliver's house. Like we were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because we were looking at the GPS and we were like, "Yo, his house is right there. Like where we're going is right there." And they fucking pulled us over because the windows were tinted. And in Pennsylvania, you can't have tinted windows.
I always thought it was because of your license plate.
No,
I figured like he said originally like it's like I can't remember, it was like a $200 ticket or something for front like passenger and driver side window tints, but because I had out of the country plates, he was gonna forgive me. So I just thought it was like a bullshit excuse to pull us over. So at first I was kind of tripping. And he's like, what are you here doing? And we show him the GPS and we're like, we're going to Oliver Spitz's house for a show. And instantly just, where's the weed? Where'd you get the weed? And we're just like, fuck, like I froze, like dead. Yeah,
It's like, yo, what do you mean we ain't got weed?
And then instantly all of us just sort of start panicking. We're like, yo, we have no weed. We just got searched at the border for like 3 hours. Like, I swear to God. And he's just like, you guys aren't Oliver Spitz fans. And we're like, what do you mean, dude? And he's like, if you were, you know, that's his best fucking song. Hey, where you get that weed at? And he like looks at his buddy in the car, and I'm like, this cop was like, he was built too. Like, he had the RoboCop haircut, like the buzz cut shit going on. He was not fucking around. I did not expect it.
Yeah, dude, like the fact that, dude, I mean, no offense, but the fact that they punked you on that is just like
actually hilarious. Yeah.
I was just like, dude, me and him had a fucking moment when we were just with us and we were just like, whoa.
Yeah. It was
like, fuck, man. Like, that could have been really fucking bad.
Fucking dude, just like, oh, you're coming from Canada, eh? Getting some booty.
Oh, bro, it was crazy. And my dumb ass, like, I get nervous and the Canadian accent comes out, so I was like, shit, I gotta like pull some real Canadian shit.
Yeah.
Make these guys feel sorry for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because you were coming to our direct town, but we get the same thing as soon as we cross the border. Like, Spitz being what we talk about all the time, him being just like a white dude with dreads. And when we were coming up there, like, regularly, when we first started, it was like right when y'all legalized pot. So it's just like, every time they're just profiling him. They're just like, come on, pull over. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, you've seen that we've been here like how many times in the past, how many months.
No, for real. It's like, it is and all these a registered business too, you know? So it is a little ridiculous. That's actually profiling at that point. It's not like he's just jumping the border to, you know, go visit homies. Like, he's working. He's got paperwork for it and everything. So,
but he's not the only one, yo. I saw like Russ has had a hard time getting into Canada.
Yeah.
Logic, I saw one time, it was having like a real rough time getting into Canada. I can't remember. I think Russ couldn't get into Canada over money. One of them couldn't get into Canada over alcohol. They wouldn't let him go across. They had like bottles, and they had like bottles to go for like a good portion of the tour. I can't remember which one it was. It was either like Russ or Logic. They wouldn't let him go across because he had literally so much cash value in like bottles of fucking liquor.
That's crazy.
No one wants to pay fucking Canadian prices for booze.
Yeah.
Y'all got
the customs are there. Awful for that.
Yeah. I'd pay Canadian. It turns out to be like, it looks more than American, but it turns out to be like cheaper.
It is less, yeah.
And to be honest, like, I co-sign y'all everywhere I fucking go down here. I'm like, y'all need to get to Canada. Y'all need Tim Hortons. You just need to eat food in Canada and realize that what we're eating is not food.
I love that. That actually made me so happy when we were in Lock Haven. I saw you had like Keurig Tim Hortons pods and shit. Like, you're
bro, you don't even like. As soon as I found like at Wegmans, like a fucking grocery store in Williamsport, which is like 30 minutes away, but my mom works there.
Yeah.
She's like, you won't believe, like, they sell Tim Hortons in this big old freaking. I was like, I haven't bought a single different cup of coffee since.
That's wicked.
Seriously, I stay on Tim Hortons coffee no matter fucking. The only time I drink anything other is when I go to someone else's house.
I don't know if it's just me, but like, I don't know what it is. Every other time I've been in the States, like even outside of music, just going on vacations and shit, I have the hardest time finding a good fucking coffee. Like, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts or whatever it is, yeah. And like everything else you guys got is usually like, I feel strangely more at home there than in Canada. Because like in the movies and cartoons, we see all your cereal, all your candy, all that shit, you know? So when you're at the grocery store, it's like really just the cigarettes and that shit are the only thing that's when I realize, oh yeah, we're in another country right now.
Yeah, it's wild, the difference. The backwood fucking difference is crazy. Trying to find backwoods that y'all fucking.
Bro, it's almost impossible.
It's actually disgusting now too. We got rid of the labels on all the backwoods, so I can't remember what it says now. It's just like a gray package with no color, no label, no nothing.
Aww.
And down the middle it says like backwoods cigar and like size 12 font.
I love the fact that y'all had like different name shit than what we were used to. Like trying to find ports.
Yeah, yo, it sucks now. Everything is like lost its name and brand. You're not allowed to like brand tobacco products in Canada anymore. It's all got to be like
crazy.
Regulated the same.
I mean, it's gonna come this way eventually too.
Eventually.
Oh yeah. Shit. That's another thing. We're sort of on that topic before. I feel like we got to ask you some of your craziest tour stories. I know you've been all over the place with Spitz. I feel like you've got to have one or two that comes to mind. You don't have to give them all. I know you might want to save a few of those for Bud Talks, but if you could bless.
What kind of crazy stories? Because I know there's one I wanted to talk about with you guys, which is like it's more of like just like, did that really just happen? And it was just hilarious how it happened. I think you guys will eventually know what I'm talking about. But what were you talking about? Like,
anything.
Shit pop off, or like
just anything that like you always think to tell people when they ask you about tour. Because I know just as a rapper, everyone asks you, oh, how was tour? I don't always go to even some of the stories we told on the podcast, but like you said, some things are just a mind fuck when you're on the road. Just like the strangest events, anything, just whatever comes to mind, whatever you'll give us.
Okay, so the one that was just like, I'll say one that was like from Lock Haven, but then I want to say the story that happened with us in tour, because I love saying this story to people because it's just fucking hilarious. And I get to say it with you guys now because you were there. You understand, like, just how we all reacted in the moment. We're just like, what? But anyway, well, actually, this is kind of like two different times. But one time we brought Demrick and DJ Hoppa through Lock Haven when Spitz was on tour with them, which is cool because I listen to like DJ Hoppa and Demrick and shit.
Huge Demrick fan.
And
Stony Point,
and
all
like
that.
I knew, like I know, like I know songs of lyrics. Like I listen to them, I memorize them all the time. I know like all the F.I.T.C.H Team sets. Like they always say that I know their sets more than they do. Yeah, that's always been a thing ever since I was a kid. When I was rapping, when I was like 13 or 14. I remember I did shows before when I was 14 years old, and dudes that were like in their 20s like would look at me and be like, "Yo, you like need to hype me on this," because I don't even remember like, writing this fucking verse like at all. And they knew I knew the shit because I was such like a fan of like doing it and stuff.
I always have to do that for Diz. Diz will write the most complex fucking 32 bar verses, and then he'll write 2 of them on a song, and he'll be like, "Dude, I wrote that without writing it down." I'm like, "I've listened to that shit 100 times. I got you. I'll punch in for you. You know, I'll hype you up."
You're like, "Yeah, I didn't either, bro. It doesn't. I know it's cool, bro."
Yeah,
dude, I do it all the time. Like I just listen to. I don't know. I just listen to everyone's shit so heavy, and then I can just memorize it. But anyway, during his set, he just noted, like he just like came up and he was just like realized this motherfucker spit my set fucking just like word for word with me, and he shouted me out in the mic. And then there's another time when we brought Ren Thomas to Lock Haven.
Oh shit! Shout out to Ren Thomas. That's the homie.
Yeah. Shout out Ren Thomas. Dope motherfucker. But
super dope.
He did his set and same thing. Like I'm on the side and he just like. I didn't know, but apparently he did recognize. And we was on the side of the street afterwards, and he came up to me and was just like, "Bro." And I like looked up from my phone. I was like, "Holy shit! Like what?" He's like, "Dude, you knew like every fucking word to my fucking set, bro. Like how the like man. What? Like why haven't you come up and said something to me yet?" And I was like, "Oh, my bad, man." I was like, I see all these people coming up here and shit, and I'm just like an artist. I was like, I'm not trying to be like that. And I was like, I was waiting until people like let you alone and be respectful. He's like, "No, man, like, dude, like respect. Like I fucking recognize like you literally knew like every word to my shit." And I was just like, whoa, shit. And it just hit me. I was like, whoa, my fucking like a dude I look up to came up to me.
That's fucking really tight, man. No, Ren's really dope. Like he's like, I think he's top tier lyricist, but he always shows love, man. He's a humble guy. Like when it's due, he gives fucking respect.
That's shout out aura.
No, for sure. And shout out to him. Actually, we were just talking last week, and he got signed to Sony Records. So that's fucking huge for him. Yeah. So he said, he's gonna try and get work in with some of the smaller dudes while he can before the suits and ties sort of make it harder for him to connect with underground.
No, dude, mad blessings to him because like I said, he just talked to you on a personal level. You know what I mean? Like he talked to you on a cool level, and it was just like he was real with you and stuff like that. I remember people telling him like, "Yo, you trying to hit this pen?" He's like, "If that's fucking wax, no."
Yeah.
He's like, I'll I'll smoke grass all day. He's like, but I don't want to hit them fucking wax pens. Like, keep them shits away from me and stuff. And he was just a real down to earth person and
No,
stuff.
for
like,
sure. He theoretically too basically lined up the Diabolic collab just because it was my homie Diabolic posted that he was looking to do some features and some collabs, and so I'm like, fuck, there's probably no way that I could even get an answer in the DM. But I hit him and I was like, yo, I got this project with Brian Thomas. If you want to get on one of the songs, we'd love to do it. And Diabolic responds like, oh, I love that fat ginger fuck. Send me the record. Yeah. And so it was like, yeah, it was perfect. I was even able to like, you know, text back and forth with him and ask like how he does his distribution and shit like that for, you know, huge projects like Liar and a Thief and shit like that. So yeah, he's just super humble dude to be able to help smaller people who are hungry enough for it. Like Spitz in a way, you know, what he's done with F.I.T.C.H Team.
It's always cool when you like meet a motherfucker like that and you do get to pick their brain a little bit.
No, for sure.
It's cool. It's just like, it's humbling. It's just like, wow. And you appreciate the moment that you're in. Like, holy fuck, like I really just got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like another human interaction. It's just crazy, like the trippiness of it. Like how much weight you can put on an interaction with someone and what it can do to you. Like how it can change your life in the course of like what the fuck you're doing.
Hell yeah.
We're back.
Had a temporary pause. I don't know how that'll work into the edit, but we'll figure it out.
It's all good.
Splice them together.
But yeah, we were in the middle of tour stories. You had right after Brent Thomas there?
Yeah, I wanted to tell the wild story. It's not like wild, but it's just like, again, like I said, it's just like, what the fuck? We did the show in Oneida, and y'all had the show in Toronto like the next day or 2 days after or something like that. And you got Ollie on the set. So we came through the Toronto show and we were just smoking in that back parking lot, all fucking like waiting for you guys to perform and everything. And I can't remember, did you guys perform before that, kid, or not?
The one that was lip syncing.
Were you waiting to go on?
After we were waiting to go on. I remember that shit.
Yeah. Now you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now you know what I'm talking about. And so anyway, when we were smoking out in the parking lot, I can't remember how we got to talking, but it was me and you, and we got to talking about like lip singing and how I was just like, I never like how I saw a kid in my hometown do it, and it was the first time I ever saw the shit. Like I was just like, how, like, I hope I never see that shit again.
And
we go into the venue, set up all the merch, and we're all like, we're in like the back corner furthest away from the stage.
Yeah.
And when this one kid, he was like, he had to have been like a local or something like that. I remember he just had like a pink sweatshirt.
Definitely a local. Yeah, that's what you get out in Toronto when you perform there.
Yeah, he just had a pink sweatshirt. He grabbed that fucking mic and he's like, yo, I need everybody in this fucking bar to get up to this stage right fucking now. Like, his homie, he had like a couple homies there and shit like that. It wasn't like mad people. Yeah. They're like already there and stuff like that. Like, yo, everyone in this bar, y'all back at the merch table, get the fuck up here right now. We about to go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And we all just like looked over and we're just like,
nah.
All right, man. Like, we're just gonna chill here. Like, a little bit too hype for me right now. I don't know what you.
We've been fishing all fucking.
Yeah, he was saying some like obscene shit too. Like I can't. It's been a while, but I remember he was just like, it was just like mad. Like we're all just like, nah, bro, not about that. And fucking I just remember he yelled that shit so loud, dude. And then his set started, and this motherfucker just started like lip syncing. And it was just like, dude, you literally just screamed at us on that microphone. Like, we can tell that you're not singing.
That was the most he spoke on that bike all night.
Oh my god, bro.
It was the worst fucking.
I do actually remember that being fucked up and being like on a bench with you out front, and you being like, I've seen this like one time before in my life, and I was like, dude, I like hate coming to Toronto because like half the dudes who fucking perform here just like they throw on some bullshit track full of auto-tune and just jump around waving the mic at the fucking 10-20 people in the crowd like they know every fucking word to their SoundCloud song.
So
And it's
bad.
like, bro, no, you gotta win the crowd over, be an MC, perform. Like
just the irony of the whole thing, like just talking about it before it happened, and then just the fact of like, yo, you literally screamed at us so loud on that microphone, but as soon as your lyrics came in, bro, just like nothing.
Yeah, I remember too. Fucking like the most excitement that whole set was like it was like me, you, Gibbs, and fucking Careless were just like out on that bench, or maybe you and Gibbs had gone inside at this point. But I see two like dudes walking across the street and they're munching pizza. I'm like, hey yo, where'd you get that pizza? And he's like, 7-Eleven, bro. It's right next to y'all. I didn't realize there's a 7-Eleven right next to the venue. Me and Careless are like, all right, fuck it, we're out. All I hear is Ollie through the window, like, we lost tour support, boys. They're gone. Like everyone just starts dying. Like we kind of got some chicken strips, some pizza, and fucking waited that bullshit the fuck out.
Yeah, that wasn't like a crazy story, but I always like that's one that I always love like telling people. It's like, what's some dumb shit you see on tour? And I was like, well, you see some shit like this.
That is hilarious.
Some motherfucker literally scream at you to fucking come see a set, but it's just like you didn't do anything.
Dizzy's pretty confrontational about that now. Like that one show we did a festival in Waterloo. We were at like a headlining rap stage. It was like an EDM, hip hop, and like a rock festival. And so on the rap stage, we got to fucking do the headlining set. And this place was actually like, so it was right before COVID. It was packed to the brim. So it was super dope. And most of the people weren't there for us. It was just because it was a festival. But the people before us, I knew the dude in the scene, and he just does the same shit. He lip syncs every song. And I don't know, I let Dizzy go off, but Dizzy convinced us to do some bad shit. We started our set. You remember that? You were kind of drunk. But you started the set by you got up there and you're like, yo, fuck any rapper who grabs the mic and is just lip singing their shit. We're about to do real rap. Fuck all that shit.
Yo,
I actually do that quite often. If I see anyone lip syncing and shit, I'm like, yo, fuck that. That's fake shit. And I was like, yo, if you want to see some real hip hop, watch this shit.
Yo,
dude just went off. He just started spitting, and God is so mad. He he left with all his people and shit. We're like, nice. Yeah. You took 5 people out of the show. Like, we're okay with that. That was the intent. Yeah.
Dude, that's just like, dude, literally like, just like I didn't care, but it's just like you have the audacity to say like, fuck you, bro.
No, for real.
I gotta spit you in my sleep. Like, how? Man, just like that. Just how do you even get up on that stage, bro?
No, honestly.
Like, how do you do that?
It makes you ashamed to tell people that you do music for a living when you know there's guys out there like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine even that being your homie and being like, coming to my show and then just watching him play the song and jump around on stage and not actually fucking perform. Like,
I remember that's exactly what we was talking about. Right at that time, fucking all that time ago. I was just like, how do you do that? You're just like, I don't know, bro. That's some crazy shit too.
Yeah, that is some crazy shit. Also, I did remember when we took our little break there, we asked if you had any new music on the go, but I think we got distracted about beer store talks.
Oh, we definitely got distracted. Music-wise, I mean, I'm not working on a project, like anything definitive right yet. Just because I actually, like I said, during this whole COVID shit, COVID didn't affect me. I've literally just been working the whole time. I'm working 2 jobs right now. Me and my girlfriend just recently moved into a new house.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we moved into the new crib. I just recently got my whole setup, like even that I can have like right here. That I can record. That's why I started releasing like the Bud Talks podcast, because I finally got my whole setup.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, we're able to do like the Skypes and everything, so that opens up a lot of different stuff for even people like in the States or in my hometown that like just want to be safe and don't
Right.
want to go out because of COVID, and we can just do it like this. But yeah, now that I got like my little home studio put together, I've literally just been working this whole year to get to this point.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's kind of
Probably
dope.
feels good to hit the top of the hill.
Yeah, it was just kind of dope. Like as soon as you guys started releasing your shit, I was just like, dude, this is fucking awesome. Like because I like I hadn't said anything about nothing, but it's just like I have episodes sitting back, and it was just like we were just like hitting the same timing and everything.
No,
like,
yeah,
that's so fucking sweet.
It is perfect,
So
especially because we all now are officially F.I.T.C.H too. So it's like we're the F.I.T.C.H team about to take over the podcast game real quick.
You was born F.I.T.C.H.
Yeah, facts.
That's how it goes.
Dude, Dizzy, you got inducted like a minute ago. Was that even before you linked up with Ollie, or how the fuck did that? Like, because you were the catalyst to all of us meeting, but I don't know how that even ended up happening in the first place.
I think that was after the Backwoods tour and Backwoods We Trust tour. I can't remember.
Okay, true. But then how did you even link up to get Ollie and
Did you do a show with Space Camp?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
He stayed at Sussy's house, Suspect. And that's how I met Spitz at that studio show.
He was
when they had that crazy studio in Cambridge.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was for support for Space Camp.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Suspect and Vision. You got that shit tattooed on your hand.
I do. I got that fucking Marmel tattoo. But no, that's how I link with Spitz, and since then we just fuck with each other after that show. And
the Oneida one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I met you.
That's where we met you.
Also, like, I still think it's crazy that I even made a connection with anyone from the F.I.T.C.H team. Because it's one thing with Dizzy, who I knew for the longest time, but that tour was like a rare occurrence. You wouldn't normally catch me in that state. The first show, I was like drunk off my ass, like I think I was wearing sunglasses inside, like an asshole, like just not normally how I roll. And then the second show, I had just like gotten in some crazy shit where I like was blackout drunk and was fucking fighting people with bottles and fucking batons and shit at a fucking party.
Yeah. And so did you guys get into a fight after that Oneida show?
Yeah, well, Oakham, and then Oakham broke his leg, and then fucking I got a huge ass fight. Yeah, so I was just like, man, I'm so surprised that any one of these dudes even get the time of day after that. It was just a weird occurrence, weird.
That Oneida show was in like such the most backwoods fucking place. Like,
oh yeah.
Just, and then like we just show up in Toronto and he gets out with like a broken leg. We're like, what the fuck happened? Like it's been like 12 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 12 hours. I had a fucking fat black
like, what did you do?
Yeah,
I broke my fucking leg, man. Like, what?
He just did that being drunk too. It was like some crazy rave in like a barn garage type thing, and somehow he just managed to damn near snap his leg going in and out of the barn.
That was a fun tour, though.
Yeah, that was.
I wish you guys would have came out east with us. That would have been fire.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because although when we went out to PEI, the sound equipment set on fire when we were in the venue.
I was listening to your podcast and you were talking about that, and I was just like, holy fuck, bro. I bet that was nuts.
Bro, I would have felt so bad if you guys came down and fucking had to deal with a venue on fire. Drive like 23 hours out of the way.
I wouldn't have. That would have been awesome.
Dude,
that would have been an awesome story for right now.
Crazy.
Actually, I have a story kind of similar to that where I got Ollie in a really weird situation. So when after the tour I did with Ollie out west, I think it was before or after we went to the States with y'all, but he was doing some shows with us in Ontario. And one of the shows we did, this guy running the show is he's like a guy I know from a couple of my homies who make music, and they're all from the Congo, like weren't born in Canada, don't speak a bunch of great English, and Ollie's interpretation of it was that some people get really offended when they're born in certain areas and have dreadlocks and all that, and they see white people with dreadlocks. But this dude was just going off. He's like, you cannot perform, you cannot touch this yada. He's just screaming at me and Ollie, saying all he can't do is fucking set at this show. And then he lets me and Oakham do our shit, and these fucking two dudes from New York. And I'm just like, bro, you're letting us do shit. These guys are still going to perform. They said it's cool. They'll take 5 minutes off their set. We take a couple minutes, like, do that. And he's like, no, it's not about time. Like, all this shit. And like, this dude is freaking out. A lot of language barrier shit didn't get in the way, but I'm sitting there like, oh my God, all these just like in the middle of Hamilton, we're all arguing with this crazy fucking DJ. Like, he's not even gonna get to perform at this show. He's fucking hours from home. I was just like, this is a disaster. Like,
that was the Halloween show, right?
Yeah, with the Rowdy City Boys. Shout out to Rowdy City.
That's fucked. And Ollie's the nicest dude too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Ollie's so not confrontational. He didn't want to push it, but I'm like, because I know this dude and I know how he is. I'm like, bro, like, let this guy perform. And me and him are just screaming at each other behind the DJ booth. And Ollie's like, it's not that big a deal. Like,
people are, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to get political with anything, but I do, my opinion on that. People are really quick to judge white people with dreads or braids or knots and tend to forget that our Viking descendants used to braid and knot
and do all that shit, yeah,
and twist their hair,
yeah,
to keep warm. So it's like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not always just the fucking, you know, it's not always trying to act a certain way or something like that. It's just like, quit making it a thing.
You know what that is?
But I understand it too. I get it. I understand it from a perspective.
It's those motherfuckers lip singing at the Toronto shows that are giving the dudes the bad name like that, you know, where they're like, oh, you're one of those guys who just wants to rap and lip sing and not, you know, but if you know fucking Spitz, he's the like embodiment of hip hop, you know. And,
absolutely.
Like, and dreads too. Like, so yeah, definitely just a sign of the times, I think, probably.
Yeah. I just try to remind people. That's my thing. I always just, well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The Vikings did too, or some shit like that. It's just like, it really doesn't matter, man. Like,
no, for real. But yeah,
like
so
you said, like he's a cool ass fucking, he's the realest motherfucker I know. That's for sure.
No, exactly. Spitz is the motherfucking man. Like, absolutely, without a doubt. We're hopefully gonna get him on the podcast soon. So I don't know how we'll work this up. I know he's working his ass off out in Spokane. Did I say that right?
Oh, he's yeah. Oh no, fuck. No, yeah, it's said, not how it's spelled. Like, I want to say, because it has the E at the end, I want to say it's Spokane.
Right, yeah,
but
me too.
They pronounce it Spokane. But no, he's back home.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah, he's back home now. Completely. I don't know. I've been working a bunch. He's been working a bunch, so it's still like, but we chill every now and then, burn something down.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably get him on another episode of the podcast here. I wanted to get some people, like we were messaging here a little bit ago. Like, I want to get a few more individual people before I start like doubling up on podcasts, like Spitz episode 2, or
absolutely.
Same thing with you guys. Like, eventually we'll double them up and stuff like that. But I wanted to make my way through a couple of people before it became that.
No, for sure. And so I guess because we did sort of get off topic again, which is cool. I really like when these conversations are going. But I am curious. You don't have anything in the vault. You're not planning any releases, so no project on the way.
I'm not planning any releases. No.
But you're not taking a break per se from dropping.
No, I didn't say I'd take a break. I was just, it was just life. You know what I mean? That's what I was basically getting at. It was like, cool. I spent this whole COVID year to just kind of like, all right, like I need, like, you know what I mean? I need to save up money. I need to fucking prepare. Like, no one knew at the beginning of the year. No one knew what the fuck was going down. Like,
no, for sure.
And like how it was gonna affect the whole world. And I mean, they still don't know how it's gonna like go. Still progress forward as we go. People say it's getting worse. You know what I mean? 1 week is getting worse. 1 week is you know what I mean? All you're hearing is that it's getting better, and it's how everything is in the world. You know what I mean?
It's hard to really have a solid opinion when everything's changing on the dime. Like,
yeah, and so this year was just like a rebuilding year. Got into my new crib, got this whole new setup. So I'm kind of like that guy. I'm like on the, like, I don't plan a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like, when I break a project down or break a song down, like, yeah, I plan it, I practice it and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't sit down and try to think like, okay, I'm going to plan my album. I'm more of like, I got to live it and it's going to come. Like, exactly. Yeah, it's just going to come. Like, as I go through life, then I'm going to have those experiences, which I'm going to think of, which is going to come into, then I'm going to start rhyming the words when I put it to the stories together. And that's just how I think that like whole process is just kind of natural.
No,
I mean, you guys
absolutely.
write music, you know.
That's exactly how I am. I can't sit down and be like, yo, I'm gonna get this project banged out by this time frame and shit. Like if I'm in the mood, I'm in the fucking mood to get something done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I need something to describe.
Yeah, exactly.
I need something to paint the fucking picture. And if I didn't like live through it, but that's just the type of artist I am. Not necessarily live through it, but like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you watch a YouTube video and it gives you a fucking idea and you're just like, oh shit, you saw the YouTube video, so you get the blueprint that you want for the song or whatever
Right.
you're doing.
No, yeah, for sure. You watch a movie or some shit and you're like, yo, I could definitely fucking.
Exactly.
That's one.
And you watch the movie, it's like your favorite movie. So you know all the scenes and shit like that. So it always reminds you of the blueprint of that idea that you had that runs and stuff. That's just how I try to keep it natural like that. So I never fall into like, don't get me wrong, writer's block is a thing, but I've seen people being like, yo, he fell off.
Yeah.
What do you mean fell off? Like, I never got this sense of like, how could, like, you're not any better than what he was at a certain time.
Exactly.
It's just how you took it or how you perceived it or how the public perceived it or some shit like that. But it's just like, he's not better, he's not worse, it's just fucking different, bro. And that's
cool. For sure. I think I don't know, I always, even with me and Dizzy, am kind of opposite, for better or for worse, in that sense, where I'm like, shit, I look at it almost like hustling, where I know if I'm not necessarily inspired right off the bat, that if I go get in the booth and look at it like a 9-to-5 job, it's like, well, if I find a beat, there's an idea for every vibe of the beat. And then I feel like I do put myself in a box where it's like suddenly I'm cranking out things where, yo, if I took 2 months or had a little more experience even on that idea, the song would be much more developed. Where I think there'll be times at like 5 a.m. me and Dizzy are like just trying to come up with ideas. We don't have them. We're like, no, let's keep going. Let's do what we got. It's good enough. Where I think quality over quantity is always, true. But I think there's a fine middle line of like hustling a product and focusing, that creative outlet into things. So
exactly.
But there's times where like, me and Careless, we've deleted or vaulted so many fucking songs, and then there's times where like, okay, like just as for people making sure we're still out here doing shit, let's just fucking quick flex something that doesn't even have an idea behind it. So it is a catch-22 with that in this like day and age with music, where people sort of forget about you if you're not there every 15 seconds in their face,
Hey, double's still a hit.
Yeah,
it's not a home run, but it's still a double.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, for sure. It's not always fucking do or die in an industry like music.
Yeah, man. My homies always told me like, hey man, everyone won't be a hit. I was just like, yeah, but I fucking want it to be. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but you gotta get over it, bro. It won't happen. I was like,
no, for real.
And that's what I was trying to do with my last fucking drop too. Study 3. Have you peeped that shit yet, bud?
Study
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I bang all your shit. Like you are like, I gotta see how many gigabytes you have on my phone.
I appreciate you, bro.
As soon as I got Apple, I for like literally like the whole squad, like all F.I.T.C.H Team, like my fucking Spotify. I have the whole, like, you guys are all on the playlist that I have. My fucking phone, Apple Music has all that shit. I only fuck with the squad, or only fuck with like people. I won't say like the squad, but like I only like really fuck with like underground. Like I listen to your shit and your podcast before I ever listen to Eminem's B-side or whatever he fucking released.
Yeah, no, for sure. We were just talking about that today. I've listened to 2 or 3 tracks, but it's not like, I don't know.
I've heard shit through the grapevine. People at work have been blaring shit in their speakers and stuff like that. But I'm like having my earphones in, trying to listen to.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I listened to his new shit like 6 or 7 times, and that's just a single compared to there's a new Eminem album. I'm a rapper. Theoretically, you'd think I would have just front to back just fucking devoured it by now. But yeah, it definitely. It just feels right to when you support people deserve it and aren't getting the shine they need.
And that's why we're family, bro.
Yeah. That's what I mean, is like it's so much crazier when like you just relate to the people that you're hearing it from.
Exactly.
So much cooler just like growing up listening to your homies spit, and now that's just what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. Like now we all just listen to each other spit, especially us because we're from a different country.
Yeah.
That's what's cool with us is like we literally like I said earlier, like we look the same, we damn near talk the same, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy fuck, man, like from a different country. Like,
Yeah.
It is weird when we think about that, how far the connection really spreads, you know?
yeah, that's Fitch.
Yeah, facts.
Fitch, you were born it.
You guys talked about it too a little bit on your episode with Oliver, but the fitching all over the world was really cool shit. Unfortunately, Dizzy had a real shitty fucking day that day and wasn't able to pull through. But that was like, I had a little 6-month anniversary celebration with my girl. It was 420 and did a little fucking like COVID show on Instagram.
Yeah.
All the F.I.T.C.H Team homies. Like it was just cool to be able to jump from fucking person to person. I don't know. It was definitely got to run that back and do that again soon.
Yeah, that's how he described it too. Is like it felt like you had like TV channels, and then like when you know what I mean, like when your Bud special was over, like you flipped over to Ethics, and when your Ethics flipped over, you went to Grayling Sky, and it was just like then when you really think about it, it's just like holy fuck, bro, like how many artists, which is like 18 probably altogether, how many states. God knows how many fucking different states.
I can't remember how many countries and shit it was. Like somebody, I remember tallied it out, and it was ridiculous the numbers of how far it actually spread. Like,
yeah, and it was just like, damn, bro, like it's fucking like, I legit remember when it was just like, I mean, I was still in school, he was out of school, and it was just like some acronym that he just fucking made. You know what I mean? And it's just like. And then to see like shit like that and like touring Canada, touring the States and shit like that. But seeing how far it reaches is really fucking like, holy fuck sometimes. Like
even like just strange how the next Wiser project is a collab project with 92 Rare. You know, it's like we would have no connection, would not know him without any of the F.I.T.C.H Team shit, you know? And it wasn't even like, we didn't do any shows with him. He just is a F.I.T.C.H member. We haven't actually, I've never met him in person, but just through all the
okay.
You know, he's just like sent tons and tons of records, and we're just like, fuck it, we have 3 or 4 songs in the vault together, let's make 3 or 4 more. So now we've got like 8, 9 songs in the vault. So it's like just weird how that shit comes to fruition, you know? And it feels really real fitting to be working with him. I think we all got to get together and do a F.I.T.C.H tape though. Is what's
he's
really
something special, man. 92 Rare.
He's crazy.
That kid, dude, he's something like, dude, like listen to him spit. Like actually, him and Dizzy lately, like just like damn, yo, like these motherfuckers be spitting, bro. Like
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, bro, Dizzy. I don't know. There's something about Dizzy's style, like just the way that you rap and the words that you put together. It's just very appealing to my ear right off the bat. Rare is just like the things that he says is like a fucking puzzle. He reminds me of like Aesop Rock.
He reminds me, like MF Doom, Aesop Rock. It's like, because I've had a lot of these references for so long, I've just been studying his verses, and I came to the conclusion that I can't try and work off of any idea that he works off of because it's so interread, like he's connecting things in such weird ways that I just have to fully be me, like almost like a cipher, because I'm like, he goes so in deep with it, you know. He'll have references about comic books and movies and real life and, you know, politics, and it feels like it's not like just thrown in, you know, like it's
it's like one of those things. It's like you know what he's saying, but you have no idea how he's saying it.
Exactly, bro. He sent me a track.
What the fuck?
He sent me a track probably a year and a half ago, and then he brought it back up a few months ago, and I was like, I can't even write to this, bro. Like, it was one of those things that I just.
It's intimidating for sure. Yeah, it's like dude's super nice.
He's just one of those dudes. Like his like, I couldn't imagine being inside his head. Like some of the shit he wrote, I couldn't imagine being inside his head, and like how he comes up with some of that shit. It's so like just not linear.
No.
It's so fucking out of the box and abstract, and it's just like I love it. I love listening to it.
He would also be a great addition to the guest because he's got a great gaming setup, great streaming setup. I know he's got the craziest little supercomputer going on. We got to get gaming some Steam. I don't know if any of y'all fuck with the computer games, but that's my shit.
Yeah, I've Steam.
Oh, hell yeah. So that means we're going to have to run a couple of fades on Steam.
Yeah, you'll have to add
Get it cracking. Hell yeah.
Bro, I'm almost like new to technology.
Yeah, I'm new to the PC game too. I always had a PlayStation growing up, but my fucking homies have like kicked me to like some of the PC game. I got a decent little setup. It's not by all means nothing fucking wild, but it's getting the podcast done. I'm able to stream. I got a capture card too, so I could even like do the PlayStation if I wanted to.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like completely new to technology, bro. It's crazy.
Like an old ass man.
I am, dude.
Yeah, there's like 11-year-old kids making like bank on fucking Fortnite or some shit. And we're like in our 20s.
Yeah,
stupid.
But then there's me that just got Wi-Fi like fucking 2 months ago. After like 22 years. It's crazy, man.
Dude, it does. Like, it is wild how, like, especially now because of COVID, how, like, everything really did, like you can, like, go to Walmart now and just order it on your phone. And now you don't even gotta walk in that motherfucker. Like, everything is just, like, online. Everything's, like, fucking automated. You just click it on your phone and boom, it'll come to your fucking door.
It's the day and age of technology. These headphones are fucking me up. I can't hear myself.
You can't?
No, I can't hear myself because I got the headphones on. It's fucking me up.
Oh, you can't hear yourself through the headphones?
No.
That's unfortunate.
It's crazy. Everything's delayed too.
So
I'm out here feeling like I'm on acid or something.
You're coming through good for me. I think I have a bad angle, bro. It looks like I have a lazy eye in this motherfucker. That's funny as shit.
It's the Thick and Pissy podcast.
I have a lazy eye.
It's the problem with drinking beers and doing podcasts. I don't know how Joe Rogan does a 5-hour podcast and just drink whiskey.
I'm probably pretty close. I did like about an hour and 50 before this. We're probably on a good. We were at 40 at the first one.
Yeah, we're at a good hour, I think.
I don't know if I just seen one of those 40-minute things.
Which reminds me, I don't know if you guys have the timer, but we do only have 9 minutes. So I will. Is it? Yeah, I do want to ask one last thing while we're sort of closing it out, especially good while you're rolling up.
One last bucket.
Yeah, basically, I want to know what's the wildest shit you've ever smoked out of, or what's the craziest shit that's gone down while you were just trying to get high and you made it work.
I've probably smoked out of crazier shit, but I was probably on crazier things and don't remember them. But I love telling people the very first time I ever smoked weed in my life, I was about 12, 13 years old. Can't exactly remember if I was 12 or 13 yet, but my one homie who was older than me, one of my best friends ever, grew up with him, like Spitz, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the same type of kid. We smoked out of a deer antler.
No fucking way. That's awesome.
The very first time I smoked weed, this dude that he knew from school, like he was good with like woodwork and shit, and he had these tools. I don't know if he did it at school, but yeah, he whittled this fucking bowl out of a fucking deer antler that he killed or some shit like that. Yeah, and that was the very first thing I hit weed out of. So I was just like, it was great. I loved it.
Dude,
you know how some people say they don't get high their first time?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you get high out of a deer antler, no matter what. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I could not have thought up an even better fucking answer for that. That's amazing. Even if I
that's the most Canadian but still Central PA shit that you can do.
Dude, that's crazy.
A deer antler.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just at our local park.
We have a few mounted in the garage, Dizzy. We might have to make something happen.
I have other stories that I could tell y'all that we can't talk. I can't say on air.
Yeah, it's cancel. It's cancel culture in 2020. You can't get away with much.
Oh,
That's
bro, I
crazy.
could tell some fucking stories, bro. I'm sure we all could.
Oh fuck yeah.
Man, I can't wait for the borders to open back up.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta make our way back down there. That shit was probably like the most fun shit of my life.
No, that shit was awesome.
The show you guys did at my release party.
Yeah, it was just a whole different experience. It was fun as shit though.
I was so thankful that you guys made it when Spitz. I think he kept it from me until it was like a 100%. Like he didn't want to tell me that you guys were coming unless something like came up or like
Yeah.
he couldn't make it work or something like that. But dude, when he's like, I was like, who else did you get like on the slot? Because he's like, oh, you're cool. Like, don't worry, I got it. Like, I'll give you the flyer and everything. And then he was just like, I came over to his crib one day and he was just like, yo, fucking Wiser and District Apollo are coming. And I was like, shut the fuck
That's
up, bro.
fucking tight.
Like, no way are they coming down from Canada. And he's just like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that's nuts. And that's what I was going to say earlier in this. Is it's like, dude, you guys come down from fucking Canada. Like, there's people in our, like, that won't come down the fucking street to shows.
Honestly, man, like, don't hesitate to hit us up because Ollie knows, and he's the same way. Like, we're both kind of lunatics with taking shows. I booked Doug and Ollie just a show out in my city for their Doug and Seth tour, and it was crazy. I had done like 3 or 4 shows that week already. Like, I was super booked up, but I'd like made it work. I had other shows with Dizzy too. Like, we had the Mad Child Dizzy Wright show, a bunch of shit going on, and Doug and Ollie were crashing on my crib, and they're like, "Do you want to come on tour with us for the rest of the tour?" And I'm like, well, when's your next show? And they're like, 11, 12 hours. And I hadn't even fully decided yet. And Doug told my mom, like, yeah, Matt's coming on tour with us, all this shit. My mom's like, you're going on tour? And I was like, fuck it, I guess, if you're cool with it. Like, and like, I can't remember what province we're in, but we're in like Western Canada. And he's like, yeah, man. So like, if you're down, like, I got a show coming up in Lock Haven if you'd send it out there. And like, you know, I might come back up to Ontario. And I was like, yeah, I still have shows booked throughout the year. If you want, I'll come down and you bring you back up to Canada. Like, I'm down 100%. In the back of my head, I didn't really think it would be like fully serious. Again, I was surprised they even went out on that tour, and we ended up making all of it happen. And just a brief, like, he just happened to mention it while we were fishing like at a truck stop somewhere. And he's like, would you want to come down to the States? And I was like, yeah, let's get it. And, you know,
if there's ever a motherfucker that you're gonna sit at a fucking gas station, smoke some weed with, and he fucking asks you a random question like that, you best believe in the future that fucking random question might come to fruition, bro. Yeah. He's solid with that shit, bro. Like, man, he put it together, dude. Like, couldn't thank him and you guys enough for fucking coming down. Like, doing that song together, Dizzy.
That shit's a banger.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane out. Dude,
for real. Like, just banger.
Although I'm glad I don't have a sister, or that my mom hasn't heard that song.
We out here fucking moms and sisters.
Dude, it was the first line I thought of.
It had
100%. As soon as I heard the mom line, and I was like,
yo,
your verse kept going on a little bit. I was thinking in my mind, I was already thinking about a line about like, oh, I gotta say something where I'm fucking someone's sister or something. Like,
that's fucking hilarious.
I was like, I have to flip that fucking bar on it. And then it fucking just came through. I love it when I listen to it. If I hear that if that song comes on my shit, like, I just love hearing it. I just love the continuity with it.
No, for sure.
Now that you got that set up, we gotta bang some more shit at.
Oh, you already know. That's what I was gonna say when we were done with this and everything. It's just like, yo, like, I can record raw vocals. I'm not good with like EQing and mixing shit like per se. I'm not gonna pretend like I do know how to do shit, but I can 100% send raw vocals out to anybody. And I know you guys are like solid with the shit.
Yeah, I can mix and master all that shit.
Let's do a tape.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Let's go.
Get a tape going.
I think with the fucking sisters and leaving it on that note, we got 2 minutes left. I think I gotta say thank you so much, man. We appreciate your time. This has definitely been my favorite episode so far. And we're definitely gonna get your ass back on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
We really appreciate it, brother. Stay safe down there in the States, man. And
thanks for
get your ass on the record.
Thanks for having me. For anybody who's fucking watching this out in Canada or anybody in the States, it's Budwalker, BUDD, everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I just started releasing
SoundCloud as well, right?
Yeah, SoundCloud. You can look at SoundCloud. I was just about to say that. I just started releasing the first episode of my podcast, Bud Talks, BUDD Talks on SoundCloud. You can catch the first episode with Oliver Spitz, and F.I.T.C.H makes a cameo in there with the song.
Yes.
Worst Case Ontario. So yeah, man, thanks for having me on again. Thanks, Dizzy. Appreciate it. Much love to you guys.
Thank you,
F.I.T.C.H
brother.
Team.
Take care.
All right,
Talk
take
soon,
care,
eh?
bro.
Dizzy. H Team how? Stay in your lane though. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Look. Stay in your lane though. Straight from the backwoods, you already know my lane though. Fuck making cheddar, don't check my bankroll. Brand new look, better rep the same flow. We the illest, still doing this, roll with my crew.